Welcome to the Courage to Be podcast. I am your host, Tanya Vasallo. It is Thanksgiving in the U.S. today, and everywhere you look this week, someone is telling you to be grateful, your inbox, your social media, holiday messaging, all of it. And honestly, for a moment, I thought of not doing an episode on Thanksgiving. I was like, I don't think I want to do this and be part of the cliche of how here's what you should be thankful for. But instead I thought of you know what, let's have a conversation about the energy of gratitude, and especially when it shows up in unexpected ways, and what Thanksgiving can look like, because every Thanksgiving looks different, at least for me. Some years I've had Thanksgiving with family, big Thanksgiving with a lot of family members. Other years there's been no family and it's just been with friends because we've been living away from family, not close by and not traveling. I don't like getting, into the crowded airports, and with everything going on in the States right now between winter storms and not enough flights and all these things, I definitely don't want to get caught in that because of the pressure of having to meet up. And then other years we've had Thanksgiving, I have to admit, and some people might judge me for this, but I remember one Thanksgiving that it was just my husband, my daughter, and I. She did not want to have a turkey or meat in there because she's vegetarian. So we decided to do a whole vegetarian Thanksgiving, and everyone could choose whatever meal they wanted. So she had mac and cheese. I wanted my mashed potatoes and gravy. I do miss my mom's mashed potatoes and gravy. And we made up our own dishes for Thanksgiving that year. And we celebrated it in pajamas. This year, our Thanksgiving looks a little bit different. We will be celebrating here in Bali with other American families at the Green Village pool. And it feels kind of strange because, Thanksgiving, I always picture it with cold weather, bundling up, fireplace. And here we are, we're going to be at the pool, hanging out. And it'll be a different Thanksgiving, so it's wonderful. And the way I see Thanksgiving, there's always this unspoken pressure around the holidays that says you should gather, you should cook, you should feel grateful, you should make it look a certain way, but our lives don't always match that script. And that's why I've been thinking about it this year, and it's just weird to put all these pressures on ourselves. You should gather with family because that's what family does, but maybe you're not talking to your cousin or your sibling or whoever it is and you don't want to see them during Thanksgiving. Then don't go to that Thanksgiving. Celebrate your own Thanksgiving in your own way that's going to elevate your vibration energy and tap into that whole energy of gratitude, right? That's what it's all about. If it's a mechanical gratitude or with shoulds, I think you're missing the whole point, if you go down that path. So it's an invitation, this episode, to kind of rethink where you're at. Something interesting happened to me this week, or last week. There was, here in Green School, there's talks. Different parents can do talks. So there are talks for other parents or workshops. And there was a fellow parent that gave a talk about presence versus perfect parenting, presence versus perfection. And the first pillar that she mentioned about her practices that she does to achieve this presence versus perfection was the pillar of gratitude. And she asked the room 3 simple questions. She said, raise your hand if you think about gratitude every day. So I pose these questions for you. You can raise your hand if you want to. Do you think about gratitude every day? Do you speak what you're grateful for out loud every day? So for the first question, do you think about gratitude every day? Many hands went up. When she asked, do you speak what you're grateful for about every day out loud? Some hands started going down. And then when she asked, do you write it down, that you do write about your gratitude every day? There were only a couple hands left up. And it was interesting to me because my hand was up for those 3 questions. And I thought this was something that everyone does on a regular basis. And I write my gratitude every morning or every evening, as much as I can. Sometimes I might miss. And it reminded me of our family practice of morning light ritual. We call it morning light. We have a little song. I'm not going to sing it for you, but if you want to hear it, maybe I'll share it on another episode. I'm not the best singer. Maybe I'll have my daughter and husband sing it for us, or we can all sing it together. But we gather, the three of us, every morning. We light a candle, we sing our little song of morning light, and then the three of us go through, in order, and just share at least three things we're grateful for. And we have our own little jokes. My husband every morning is like, still alive, before he goes, I'm thankful for still being alive. My daughter might even bring in gratitude for things that haven't happened yet. Like, I'm so thankful for the puppy that you guys are going to gift me, so she's kind of manifesting it into being. And then it creates a presence, and having that ritual. And so I share these stories because gratitude isn't about the shape of the holiday. It's about the energy you bring into your life on a daily basis. Whether your table is full or it's just a few of you on this holiday, whether you even celebrate it, because I know there's a lot of people listening to this podcast that don't even live in the US, but maybe that's something that you want to practice more, or you want to do your own version of Thanksgiving. Whether you're in cold weather, whether you're at a swimming pool in Bali like I am, or whether gratitude comes easily or feels like almost impossible to tap into, it really isn't about the performance. It's not about the shoulds. It really is about presence and tapping into the emotion and the energy of it. So as you move through this week and through this holiday in the States, if you celebrate Thanksgiving or not, I want to leave you with a question. What does gratitude actually feel like in your body today? And what do you feel like doing? Not what you think you should be grateful for, but what's real, what's showing up for you. Even if it's tiny, what are you grateful for? Even if you're grateful, like my husband says, still alive, you could just still be alive and be grateful for that if you can't tap into anything else. And if this episode spoke to you, or if there's someone in your world who might need a different kind of Thanksgiving or permission to live their Thanksgiving, however they're deciding to go through their Thanksgiving, please forward it to them. It truly helps me reach more people, and I always love hearing from you too, so feel free to leave a comment on Substack or on YouTube. And thank you for spending time with me today. Until our next episode, remember to always choose courage over comfort. If you loved today's episode, it would mean so much if you rate and review The Courage to Be on Apple Podcast. Not only does it help the show to grow, but it also gets you in the running for something amazing. Every month, I draw one lucky winner to receive a complimentary 7-night, 8-day vacation. You'll get to pick from over 3,000 beautiful resorts worldwide. You just cover the taxes and fees like you would with a travel rewards. Airfare is not included. And if you want to double your chances, along with your Apple Podcast review, leave a couple of comments on YouTube. That counts as a second entry. Just send your screenshots to help.thecouragetobe@gmail.com, and you'll find the email in the show notes too. It only takes a moment, and who knows, your next adventure might be closer than you think. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on our next episode of the Courage to Be podcast.